It is so great to be back after the holidays. So tell me a little bit about the holidays and what did you do? Sandra.
Oh, come on. You know what I do every holiday, every Christmas holiday. So we went on our usual Christmas vacation. The only difference this year is my son and his wife were not with us. So that was kind of hard. My younger child, my younger son was like, Mom, this is so different without them, because he looks forward to having them there. But in his brand new job that he got last year, he cannot take any time off at the holidays. So we're proud of him for the job, but we missed him a lot. But we had a great time. And I had some friends come down to fill their place. And it was great. It's always good to get away and relax and come back new for the new year. So that's what we did.
Okay, Angie.
I was resonating with what you were saying, Sandy, about the kids as they get older. Two of mine are now college age, and I still have one in high school. And they have their own lives. They have their own plans. They have their own jobs. They have their things. So when they were little, we spent much more time planning travel over the December break. But now it's like, don't make any plans. Let's just let the days come to us and do what we want to do. Both my husband and I being in education, that break is very valuable. So we just take it easy, do a lot of home things. Maybe if we feel like we wanted to organize a garage, which,
That's fun.
that one's on the list every time. And every December that passes, it's like, we're going to do the garage. But nope, this one not either. We didn't do it. So that just came to mind. Anyway, a lot of resting.
Okay, all
Yes.
right. Laura?
So like Angie, I have two in college. And, at the beginning of the year, I was like, okay, we need to plan for the holidays and where are we going to go? And they were like, we just want to stay home, right? So second year in a row where they just want to be home because, all their friends, everybody comes home for the holidays and they want to be able to share with them. And so we did our traditional Noche Buena and our brunch at my sister's for Christmas morning. And that was all fabulous. And like you, it was like I had a whole to-do list and I just went with the flow. Yeah. Enjoyed the days, really just spending time with friends and family. And it was magnificent.
Nice. What did you do?
What did I do? Okay. What did I do? I didn't get to be with my pumpkin this time around. Pumpkin number 1. Mm-hmm. Spoiler alert, I have pumpkin number 2 now. Yeah. We stayed at home, considering that we are going to be traveling for the conference.
Exactly.
Okay? So we decided to stay at home and enjoy pumpkin number 2. So, but different from that, it was just family get together and having typical family fun.
Yes.
That was it for me. So as you can see, we have adopted Stephanie, who some of you may have recognized from a conference in 2024. So who can resist that beautiful face and smile?
So her pumpkin number 1 is now how many months?
4 months.
4 months.
Baby Julia.
Baby Julia. So what was your Christmas and holidays like?
Different.
Yes.
Different, but a blessing nonetheless. I think I've learned so much about having her in our lives. My husband and I are thrilled. My mom is a glam mom.
All right.
She's loving that season of her life and embracing it very much. So it was a beautiful challenge the first few months of her life,
Right.
but we are so grateful. God has been so good, and that's been our very first Christmas as a family of 3. So
Get ready for a beautiful challenge the rest of your
I know.
life. 4 months. 4 months.
Yes, but a beautiful challenge. I know there are so many folks who say, "Oh, wait for that." I'm like, I know, but this baby has been very wanted, and so now that she's here, it's been a blessing.
Yes.
I'm so happy, tired but happy.
All right. So, moving right along, the focus this year is going to be, on goals, okay? All of us make goals, and, it's the beginning of the new year. Global women have goals. Each individual have goals. Dr. Brown, do you have any specific goals that you have set for 2025?
Interesting you should ask. So for 2025, I've never been a resolution person. I don't believe in resolutions. I think they're just things you make to break. So my goals are always, always, always to spend more time with the family, do things with the family, and to rest. Rest is very important. You see, I struggled all of 2024 with downgrading some of my work, not doing as much, and discovered that I'm not very good at that. Because when I have too much free time, my mind goes crazy. So for 2025, I need to learn how to not go crazy, how to target and to focus my mind. And so I have to take steps. That's my plan for 2025, is to take steps to manage my own cognitions so that it doesn't disable me.
Not go crazy.
Not go crazy.
Goal for everybody, everywhere.
Yes. Not go crazy.
You know, something that occurred to me a few years back about that very point is if I could trick myself by actually planning rest as an agenda item, I felt like I was accomplishing the agenda item. So it was like, check, I did nothing. That was on purpose. It was an assignment. And as I get older, I realize my mind actually needs that to reset, to be more efficient and more active.
I think the issue, dear President, is that I've spent my entire life doing.
Sure.
Busy. Always doing. But I'm looking forward to really focusing my life on getting some good needed rest, literally, and making sure that my life is on purpose for what God wants me to be doing. So that's my goal. We'll be working on it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Stephanie?
Oh, I'm also someone who likes goals and is a doer, but now my goals are so different with baby Julia, and I've been thinking about it, and every year, instead of having a goal, I try to focus on a word, just because the doer in me wants to do so much. So I just try to kind of put it all into one little bucket and give it a title. So for me, it's finding balance. Finding balance in exploring this new life as a mom, still balancing my life as a wife, still balancing my spiritual walk with the Lord, still being Stephanie and doing the things that make me me.
Right.
And I know everyone, when they are a new mom, say, make sure you don't lose yourself, still make time for yourself, do the things that you want to do. So finding that balance. Having time with family, friends, rest, and of course, dedicating my time to baby Julia and exploring all of it, but with intentionality, giving pockets of my life time so that I don't neglect areas that I still need to nurture.
All right.
So finding balance.
Okay. What a goal of mine is to maybe go to a wedding, maybe sometime this year. I don't know. Laura, what are your goals?
Oh, really? Interesting. I wonder whose wedding she would be going to.
I have
But she
no
has
idea.
a goal.
About your son?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. So, a goal for mine. So, if we've talked about this in previous years on podcasts. Like, I love doing one big adventure that is fitness and spiritual related, right? So, we had 1 year I climbed mountains. The last 2 years I've done Camino, and I'm still trying to figure out what that focus is going to be for this year. And the reason why I picked doing a certain physical adventure is because it gives me that opportunity to train for it. So I've got the physical part. While I'm doing it, there's this whole spiritual component to it. And so, having the last 3 years have been so amazing, I'm trying to figure out what that's going to be. So viewers, if you have any ideas on what that should be, please put it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you as I'm deciding what that big goal is going to be this year in terms of the next adventure. So that's what I'm focusing on. But I wanted to come back to something you said, which for you has been the focus on rest. So there is this lady I know, Dr. Barbara Roden, and she's written Forbes articles, and she's all about the importance of sleep and rest, especially for women. And the importance of how cognitively we function when we have rest. You know that very well with a newborn, and the importance, Angie, of your point of making time for that, being intentional with that. So I love that. That's something that you're planning for this year.
Awesome.
I'll represent. For the past few years, the main goal or initiative is obedience. I have a friendship with the Lord, and I love coming around the word obedience because it's not popular. It's not a popular word. But I love knowing that obedience to the Lord, He has my best interests at heart. And so if I can hear what He's saying and obey it, then I know that the goals, the dreams that are deepest in me are going to come to life because of Him. I saw a lot of traction in 2024 in bringing people together, stepping aside with leadership in a way that was not absent leadership, but not front leadership, but being this
Behind the
support.
scenes.
And so much joy there to see other people get the limelight and the accolade and know that you're just kind of being a little bit of that shoulder for them to stand on to do that. I hope that that's part of the obedience plan for this year as well, because I'm just enjoying that process. And then in a very practical sense, I believe that this season, as we are launching 3 adult men from the home, that these years are really critical for counsel, for adult to adult conversations, not trying to be too careful for fear that they won't like what we have to say as parents, but now more than ever, we've got to tell you what we have to say. Now it's your choice to obey us or not. I mean, you're adults now. But that's very specific and clear that I hear the Lord say, hey, you really can do whatever you want as long as you bring people with you. That's a good life plan. As long as you bring people with you. Okay. And the only way that works is if you're showing the fruit of the Spirit and people want to be with you. Because if they don't want to be with you, they won't. So if people are with you, then that's probably a good sign that you're doing what you're supposed to do. So there are my thoughts on
And I
that.
think you're such a good leader in that capacity, like you were saying earlier, to step back and kind of do things behind the scenes. You're really good at that. I've experienced that in my life, so I know you're gonna rock it.
And for me, like when I
Awesome.
think of that from a biblical perspective, I'm like being a Martha,
Yeah.
right? So,
Serving.
yeah.
But not getting cranky.
No, not getting cranky. Yeah,
And
not-
I can get cranky.
Yes.
I'm doing all this work.
Right.
Nobody
No,
notices
this
it.
is
Yeah.
being of service, not being
Yes.
cranky.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go.
Yeah, and doing it with a joyful heart.
For me, I agree with what Stephanie said, because I've told myself, I've had this conversation with myself so many times, you have to create a balance. Because sometimes, especially as women, we could find ourselves going all day, morning, noon, and night. And like Sandra said, you got to take time for yourself and rest. That is a goal of mine. I'm telling you
Jesus
to
did
just...
it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Thank you.
that
Yeah,
helps,
that's right.
That helps encourage a lot.
Yes.
Yes.
Because I mean, and like sometimes I find myself up all night, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and that's not good.
Right.
It really isn't good. So I definitely going to do some stepping back. I'm not going to be working on weekends. I find myself sometimes working Saturday and Sunday. I'm not going to be doing that. So I've all of those things. We always talk about work-life balance and all of that, and you got to make special time for your family. You got to definitely have self-love. So all of those things are going to be pouring into Venoria in 2025, you know. And I encourage everyone out there, the viewers, to do the same thing, you know. Take care of yourself, because if you don't, who will?
Well, I think it's important, interesting because you just mentioned, Jesus took the time to rest. I think the other thing too is, as women, and for those of us that are moms, is taking that time for ourselves, right? He did that. He went off on his own and had that moment of reflection and renewal and such. So I think it's a great example that we need to do that as well.
It kills that dare I say, toxic doer mentality. That
Yes.
if I'm doing, I am succeeding. Well, you can also do nothing and take a break and reset and restructure and have time to make a plan and make a goal and
That's right.
determine your values. In that like calm zen, when you take a deep breath, and you clear your mind, have some time with the
'Cause
Lord, slow
you're not
down.
doing nothing.
You're not
doing no
It's a healthy thing
thing.
to do.
Right.
which is about being, which
Present.
is the thing that I think we confuse so often.
Yes.
There are lots of conversations going
Yes.
on about this right now. We are enough. We are valuable as we are, not because of the striving. So
And there's so much goodness there. Doing nothing is not like I'm wasting my time.
Nope.
Right.
You are doing such healthy things. I think restructuring that perspective is
Well,
super important.
I think that when you allow yourself that time of meditation, of rest, of doing no thing, actual thing, other than your thing is to just be, that's when you open yourself up to hear what your next thing should
yes,
be.
ma'am.
Right.
Right? You need to, it's almost like the declutter of the mind, of the body, to be focused and say, okay, Lord, what's next?
I love that it's called quiet time.
Yeah.
I learned so much
I bet you do.
of
I
that.
love it.
I just because I had to learn. It's not about like listening to more podcasts and doing more. Sometimes you just need to go outside and stare at a tree and take a breath and be there for 20 minutes. And if it makes you uncomfortable, let that happen and unlearn.
Yeah, we need to
why
get away
I need
from
to-
the
I need to-
screens.
I need
Yeah,
to.
tell
I
me
need to.
about
Just take a break. 20 minutes. You will survive.
will survive.
There will be more time.
It's
gonna
gonna
be okay.
take time, as you say, to reprogram our minds, because, like Venoria, probably like you're out in the quiet time, but your brain is going.
Thank you.
And how do you? And that's what I want to do this year: is harness my cognitions to focus on that quiet time, to focus on the Lord, to see what He wants me to do. And it's hard. It's hard to do that because we have screens everywhere. And I think when we decide to rest, we need to rest from the screens.
And when we can't rest, I remember someone sharing something special with me. Was just pray for it. You need wisdom, pray for it. You need to learn how to rest. Pray that the Lord will help you learn how to rest. And if not, we find ourselves, I'm not doing it well. And just like, relax, give yourself grace. You will learn. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, like I work from home, and sometimes at the end of the day, I would just get up. I have no reason to go to Publix, but because it's right close to my house. And sometimes I'm talking to my son, one of my sons, and he would say, "You're going to Publix again?" But it's just to get out of the house and get some air, because working from home, a lot of times people think, "Oh, it's so precious," and all. Yes, it's precious, but let me tell you, you work triple time when you're working, because sometimes you even don't get up to go to the bathroom, you don't have lunch, you don't do none of those things. So we really have to reset, the way we
Intentionally.
yes, intentional,
Very
yes,
intentional.
yes.
That I learned big time, because all of 2024 I had like a hybrid work scenario, because I work in marketing. So I got Mondays and Fridays working from home, which was such a blessing, because Mondays are so busy, so you
Right.
can get work done. And then Fridays, it's a Friday, so it's a little bit more, relaxing and it's calm. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday being in the office, so that was nice too. But well, at least, 75% of the year, and there was maternity leave for a while. But being home, I made a plan. During my lunch break, which is an hour, half of it I will have lunch, properly make lunch, heat it up, sit down, eat. Not be on the phone and check other things and kind of, do the multitasking, just eat. And then the other half hour, maybe read, maybe take a walk, maybe something, I don't know, vacuum if I really needed to, something like that. But like section off that time so it's intentional.
Right.
So you don't try to do everything all at once, because that's what happens when there's no structure. Working from home, you're, opening the door to the maintenance person or the delivery
Tell me
person, and
about it,
you're cooking and in a meeting at the same time. And just, wow, that you find burnout fast.
Real
It
fast.
becomes your,
Yeah.
unexpected neighbor, unexpected visitor.
Because
very
sometimes you
quickly.
forget to eat. I mean,
Yes.
There's no
So
lunch
it's
hour.
But you would think you're home. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, no.
But
no.
it sounds like one of your goals this year should be to eat lunch. Maybe you could write that down.
Oh,
That's a baby step.
So,
You
yeah,
said
so,
it
yeah,
twice
so
now.
a lot of times what I've done, I usually would just carve time out on my calendar.
Well, my
you know.
calendar, 5 days a week, it has a half hour carved out for lunch. It is an appointment with myself.
Right.
So no one can book time during that
During that
time,
time, right.
because it's already blocked on my calendar
Right.
with a no end date
Right. I may not take lunch, but I need time for myself.
to work,
Yes.
to think.
Exactly. To
Yes.
think. Exactly.
Yes.
To declutter.
Yes. Yeah. That time is
So
precious.
yeah, so that's our goals. But listeners, just to remind you, we are coming to you, BV Islanders. You guys are in for a treat, and I know we are in for a treat too.
Yes.
Because we are going to see so many. Like, I'm from the Virgin Islands, so I'm looking forward to seeing and reconnecting with a lot of you guys. We are going to have local entertainment. So
And
that's
food.
And food. I mean, the beaches, I'm telling you, it's going to be awesome. And you're going to get to see these beautiful ladies, okay? All right? So, until next time, Laura?
We would love it if you subscribe on our YouTube channel, be cognizant of when the next podcast is coming. Join us. Maybe a goal that you put down is to join us in March in Tortola for the conference. And you can find that information and more at gwenrichment.com. Until next time, see you soon.